Good morning, my friend. Thanks for joining us today as we record episode 194 of the Family Meeting Podcast. We hope your week has been going fantastic. Ours has been good.
Yeah, getting a lot of work done.
We are. This week has been a special week for us because I have cleared my schedule of all paint jobs, and we have been working a lot together this week.
Yeah.
So we've been spending every day together, and we are not sick of each other at all.
Not yet.
No. We've been having a good time. We are actually recording some of our content into courses that can be purchased and used in small groups or as couples or whatever. And it's been fun.
So we have finished recording all the shots that we need for Happily Never After course. Now it's going to the editing phase, and we've started recording shots for Balancing the Crazy course. So
yeah. So those will be coming out to you hopefully sooner than later, but it is a lot of work, and we have other things going on in life too. So you know how that is. That's really hard to juggle everything.
the goal is before the end of the year is up to have at least Happily Never After out there.
Yeah, which would be great. So that's kind of what's going on in our lives. We'd love to hear from you. Tell us what's going on in your life. I hope you're getting ready for Father's Day.
Yeah.
It's
coming up
very soon. I have an Amazon package on the way for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, put it away. You can't look it up. You're ruining my life.
What? 85-inch big screen? Wow. Best Father's Day ever. 85-inch. I'm going to watch football and it's going to feel like I'm there. Like, just cover this whole wall.
No, it's not. Anyway.
It's not. It's 125-inch.
So don't forget Father's Day for the father in your life or fathers.
I'm excited. I got the meals planned.
Yep.
That I want for Father's Day. We have church, so I've got to work that day. But we're going to have a good time with it at church. At our church, we do Dude's Day Buffet. So we get a bunch of snacks and drinks for all of our guys just to enjoy all service long. And we got a couple giveaways we're going to do. But after that, I'm coming home, and I'm not doing nothing. It's going to be awesome.
He's very good at that, doing nothing all day. He likes that. I am going to be tortured on Father's Day, but that's okay.
Yep, because you're going to lay around doing nothing.
Because it's not Mother's Day.
All day.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. All right, let's get on to recording this, babe.
What are we talking about today even?
We are talking about the family bank, making time deposits and withdrawals.
Oh, what? But I want you to deposit and give me money.
Before we get into this episode...
Money, please.
No. Before we get into this episode, baby, is it withdraw or withdrawal? It's withdraw.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Withdraw.
Because withdrawal is like to withdraw away?
Yeah, and it's like, you know how you are with drugs. So when you don't get your drugs, you go through withdrawals.
Yes, my drug being coffee. Okay.
Yeah. She gets headaches and everything else.
Just before we do a whole episode where we say the word withdraw 1,000,000 times.
I'm not going to say it once this whole episode.
Good luck.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Gather round, everybody. It's time for a family meeting. The Family Meeting is a show that's all about family relationships. We're the Ostracamps. I'm Thomas, and this is my wife. Withdrawal. Capital L.
Hello and welcome to our family. Welcome to episode 194 of the Family Meeting Podcast. On today's episode, we're going to talk about the family bank. No.
Show me that money.
No. Today's episode isn't on family finances, babe.
Oh, good, because we ain't got none.
It'd be a short episode.
Buy 1,000 of our books right now.
No, really.
FamilyMeeting.org.
I love you. Okay. No, the episode is actually on time spent with your family and when to deposit and when to withdraw that time from the family bank.
And before we talk about that, we need to talk about spending time with your spouse. Mm-hmm. Because we have a relationship refresh coming up. We're 1 month away from a relationship refresh and in Flagler Beach. Beautiful Flagler Beach. Wonderful place to come and to visit. We do have people coming in from Illinois so far that I'm excited about. Spending some time with them and just working on our relationship. And so we're we're actually going to be focusing in on we need to talk. Have your spouse ever said that to you?
No, but I've said that to my spouse many times.
Yeah, you have. And usually it's doom and gloom. But this is not going to be like that. This is going to be a fun time where you just work on your relationship. And our goal is to get you communicating about some certain things. So I think it'll be a helpful time. Listen, it's just $25 per couple.
Yeah.
So your relationship with your spouse is worth that $25 investment. And literally less than 24 hours. So there's one session on Friday night. We're going to have some worship, praise and worship time, and then have a session. And then Saturday morning, we're going to have a couple of sessions. We'll be done before lunch. So you can leave, you can go to the beach, you can have lunch on the beach or whatever. There's a lot of nice restaurants around. But it'll be worth your time and the investment in your marriage relationship. So go to familymeeting.org, hit shop, and you will see Relationship Refresh where you can get your tickets there.
Let's get into our topic for today, because the question we want to help you answer today is, do you have enough time in the family bank to make repeated withdrawals? That's what we're talking about today. You know, the most precious commodity we have in this world is time.
Yeah.
By far.
The older I get, the more I understand that.
Absolutely. Nothing is more precious, rare, limited, and absolutely impossible to get back. Once time is gone, it's gone. And this can be kind of a sad or depressing thought. Like, it can be. But it also can be really great and positive, because if we spend our time the right way and we make really awesome memories with our children and our spouse, then we have a lot of time to look back on with pleasure and enjoyment and joy. So it can be a really good
fondness.
Thing. Yes, fondness. I love seeing these posts on social media and stuff about the fact that there are only 18 summers in a child's life. Like, it's a good reminder. There's only 18. That's not many.
Yeah, we did last year. We did a post on this for a family meeting. It just came across my memories just a day or two ago, and it talked about the days, and it was how many days do you have left, and it was like 18 years counting down.
Yeah.
And so having one that literally she's turned 18, she just graduated, to think that this might be her last summer with us.
Could be.
In the capacity that we're used to.
Yeah. I mean, there's only 18 Christmases to enjoy. There's only 18 Easters in a child's life. Obviously, it's not like families completely cut off the second they turn 19. But, like, just to get a grasp on how quickly these days with your children at home go. It goes so fast. And it's a great reminder of the value of time.
And Scripture reminds us of the value of time as well, and really challenges us to use it wisely, to make the most of it, verses like Colossians 4:5 that says, walk in wisdom toward outsiders, making the best use of time. And so here Paul's writing these believers in the city of Colossae, hey, make the best use of your time. And so you have to think about that with your family relationships as well. Are you making the best use of your time for the limited amount of time that we have with especially our kids? As we've just talked about that a little bit. But the same is true of your spouse as well.
Right. And we have many people in our lives who lost spouses unexpectedly or at a very surprisingly young age. So none of us are promised tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen. So definitely value that time that you have with your spouse as well.
Paul writes this in Ephesians 5:16, making the best use of the time because the days are evil. And so he says, hey, there's a lot wrong with this world that we live in. Make the best use of your time. Bad things happen, difficulties, tragedies, whatever else. Make the best use of your time while you have it. And then James says this, and I'll leave you with this. In chapter 4, verse 14. Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go into such and such a town and spend a year there and trade and make a profit. Yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes. And so he even James is talking about, hey, value your time. Understand how fleeting it is, how valuable it is. And I know there are people that spend their lives kind of wishing things, basically their time in their life away. You know, when you're young, you just talk about, oh, just can't wait to be married, right? And then when you get married, it's like, oh, I'm just so looking forward to having kids. And then you have kids and you're in that newborn stage and you're like, oh man, I just can't wait until they're old enough to like put their socks and shoes on themselves.
Yeah.
And we kind of keep just wishing each stage away. And what we want to encourage you to do is to value the moments that you have.
That's right. Think of time with your family like a bank. When you spend time with your family, you are depositing into that fund. You're investing in the ones you love, and they know it and they can feel it. When you leave to enjoy hobbies outside of your family, you're making a withdrawal from the bank. When you go to work, that's a withdrawal. And this is a little confusing too sometimes, and it can become kind of a gray area because you feel like I'm going to work for my family. But the truth is, when you're gone, that's a withdrawal.
Right, you're not with them.
You're not with them. When you spend time with a friend, you're withdrawing funds from your time family account. When you come home from work and you eat dinner with the family, help the kids with homework, play a board game, or whatever else, you're depositing into the family bank account. So you can see the balance change on your family bank account. It goes up and it goes down. So the question I want you to kind of ponder today and to think about is, what does your family bank account look like? Is it anemic? Are you in the red or are you in the black?
Now, our family is one of our most precious gifts from God, and we should see them that way. It's not that our entire life should be run by what our family thinks or feels, but they are special and should be thought of when making plans and goals. As you make choices every day about where to go and what to do, the family bank should be considered. Before you say yes to a round of golf with your friends, think about how much time you've spent with your family. Is this a wise way to spend your time right now? If you've been making more and more withdrawals than deposits lately, you may need to say no this week and make some time deposits with your family and play golf next week when your account is more balanced.
What if you find yourself in debt? Maybe you're listening right now and you think, I'm looking at my family bank account and I'm in debt. I have not been spending the time that I should with my family. You've been focused on work, chasing that promotion, or simply trying to make it through a demanding season at work. You've been staying late every night or even working weekends. Maybe it's not your job. Maybe it's your extended family pulling you away from your nuclear family. You've had to care for sick parents or ailing relatives, and it's just the season, but you have been away from your husband or your wife a lot.
Yeah.
Your children have been doing life without you, and you can sense the debt you've created. Now, I just gave a couple of examples. Notice these areas which can cause debt in the family bank account are good and noble causes. Like, there's nothing wrong with working hard. Working hard is providing for your family, right? And so we can kind of, like I said, we can trick ourselves into thinking like, this is for my family, so it's the same as making a deposit. It's not. But it is a good, noble cause. Taking care of ailing family members, taking care of aging parents, that is noble. It is good and it is right. But it can create a debt in your family bank account.
Today, while I was at the gym, I was watching a biography of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Who in the world is that?
So he was a professional wrestler back in like the 80s and 90s. But he was talking about the fact that when he was, concentrating on his career, he was traveling like 300 plus days a year. And so he regrets like the time that he missed with his kids, with his wife. Ended up finally costing him his relationship with his wife. But and he even was talking about the fact that he was trying to weigh things out between, hey, I've got a child that's on the way. I need to go make as much money as possible to be able to provide for his needs and everything else. But then you're missing out on birthdays and holidays and Christmas and Thanksgiving and all these times where he would have to go and to perform.
Yeah.
And he just kind of missed out on it. And so literally just today I was watching, and this is not a Christian person. This is just somebody who is reflecting on their life that has kind of passed them by and what they would maybe do a little bit differently if they could now.
Yeah, because he's never going to get that time back.
Yeah.
His kids will never be that age again. And you can't go back. And these things are noble. Like, working is noble. I think about my own father. Before I was even born, my older sister, who's 6 years older than me, she was born, and my dad was a tour bus driver, like motor coach. And I remember my mom telling me what happened that changed all that. He drove a trip to California from Iowa. So that's a long trip just to get there. Then by the time he got back, it had been a full 30 days on the road.
Over the road work is tough.
It's really hard. I'm thankful for people who do it. I'm thankful for our truck drivers and for all of those people who transport things for us. But it's a hard life. And my dad gets home. My sister would have been 4. And I think my mom was pregnant with my brother. And she was she had a garden in the backyard, and she was a stay-at-home mom and doing all this stuff. And he got home, and she's like, never again. I cannot do this again. And she couldn't handle it and didn't want to handle it that way.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to miss his children growing up. So he quit that job. He stopped being a motor coach driver. And let me tell you, my dad loves driving motor coach.
Yeah, he does.
Still does to this day. It's a different situation now, but, so he quit that, and he got a job at the lumber yard locally in our little town of Walker, Iowa. And he worked at Great Plains Lumber. And that way he could be home every night with his family. So he made that choice.
Well, and what I love is that your mom was able to have that conversation with him and say, listen, this is not the way that I kind of want to live our life.
Yeah.
And raise our family. What can we do differently? And then that he was the person who could hear what she's saying, and it's not really what he wanted to be gone that long as much either, but they could have the conversation.
Right.
And maybe this is a conversation that you need to have. And we'll talk about this a little bit as we get to the family meeting for the day, but I'm just kind of throwing it out there right now to think about, is this a conversation you need to have about how much time you're investing in your family physically and mentally and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. And work and taking care of family members is noble. Maybe it's caring for your own health, going to the gym, but maybe it becomes an excessive amount of time. Or church work. Church work is a good, noble cause, but it can hurt your family. These are all good things, but they can put you into family debt. They can hurt your nuclear family, the one that God gave you to care for. Your first ministry is your nuclear family. Your spouse, the one that you said I do to, the one that you made all the vows to, that's your first ministry. Your children, who you love and you care for, they are your first ministry above all else. I think back to a time when Thomas I think you kind of realized this at one point in your life, and I'll share the story and you tell me if I'm remembering it correctly.
Oh, you probably remember it better than I do, but sure.
Okay. So our kids were little. We were living in Iowa, which means that actually I think back when you were fishing, we had all 4 kids. We just saw a picture the other day of you with a huge catfish, and Violet is a baby.
Yeah.
And you put Violet on top of this.
Because it was big.
Was it a dead fish?
It was bigger than her. No, it was probably still alive at that point.
Yeah. He put my baby, my 7-8 month old baby, on top of this fish, riding it like a horse. And I was like, ew, don't let the baby touch the fish. But anyway, So that picture came up. So you were probably still fishing at that point,
Yep,
which means
yep.
that Catherine would have been 5, Isabella was 4, Abigail was 3, and Violet was coming up on her first birthday. And I remember Thomas coming to me one day, and he basically said, I'm not going to go fishing anymore. And I was like, why? And do you not like fishing? Like, what happened? He's loved fishing his whole life. He said, I'm not going to do that anymore, because he said, the only time that I can go fishing is in my free time, and I want to spend my free time with my family while I have the chance. That's how I remember it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But, I became lead pastor at that point, and a lot more responsibilities at work, and it was just, I knew something had to give. And so understanding that with the limited amount of time that the girls are going to be around, I didn't want them to remember me as somebody who's always just off fishing. I wanted them to remember a dad who was there and who played with them and everything else.
Yeah, and you did, and it was awesome. And there's nothing wrong with fishing. That's kind of what we're trying to tell you here is it's not that fishing is wrong, your personal hobbies are wrong. It's not that your church work is wrong or caring for ailing family members or your work is wrong. It's not that. But where's the balance in your bank account? That's what you need to be thinking about. Yeah,
and so just in this season of life that we're in, I've made a choice on where I want to spend that time. And so let's say you do find yourself in debt right now, time-wise with your family. Your spouse is feeling neglected. Your kids no longer even expect you to show up to their games, their musicals, their life events. You are way overdrawn. But what can you do now?
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's true you can't ever get that time back, but you can decide right now that you're going to begin to even things out by making some real significant deposits into the family bank.
Okay, let me cut you off for 1 second.
Okay.
I just saw this post on social media. It says it's by C.S. Lewis. I did not research or fact check that. So it may or may not be by C.S. Lewis.
It's on social media. It's true.
Oh my. Okay. But listen to this. It says, you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending.
Yeah.
I love that. I thought that was so good and so pertinent to what we're talking about today. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending.
Which is so true. And the first thing I encourage you to do is just to apologize. Just to own it. Sit down with your wife, sit down with your kids, and say, hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I've been spending too much time at work or too much time on this hobby or whatever else. Whatever you've been doing, whatever the reason, just own it. That goes a long way.
Right.
And is a great first step in changing things up and to leveling things out to get them where they should be with your family relationships.
All right, next, plan on paper or digitally, however you like to do it, how you're going to change this. So you've seen that there's a problem with your account. You have owned it. You've shared it with your family. Now you've got to make a plan because this isn't going to change naturally. Are you going to leave work a little earlier for the next full week to spend more time with your family? Can you get another family member to pick up the slack for your extended family so that you can have more time with your nuclear family? Will you choose to set aside your own hobbies for a little while, like Thomas did with fishing? He said, for right now, I'm not going to fish. Now, that was probably 12 years ago.
Yep, but I still have my fishing poles. I still have my tackle. Like, I've not given it up forever. I do enjoy fishing. Every once in a while, somebody will ask me to go, and I'll go. But I do really enjoy it.
Yeah.
But just in this season of life, it's like, okay, I'm just not going to spend a lot of my time that way.
Right.
Unless it's literally with somebody else who's inviting me to go, and it's for the point of investing in that person, that relationship.
Right. It's more than a hobby at that point. Here is a really difficult one for a pastor. And I know we have some pastors who listen faithfully to our podcast. Will you say no to some ministry things to say yes to your family? Maybe that's the new plan. Maybe that's what you need to write down on paper. Look at your calendar and schedule a family vacation. We need to do this. This has been, I keep telling Thomas, poor Thomas, I try not to nag him. I try to remind him.
She's not good at trying.
I'm like, by the end of tomorrow, we have to have a family vacation on the schedule. because we travel a lot for speaking and other things, but that is not depositing in the family bank account. That is withdrawing. We need to get away with our kids where we spend time with them and hike and just like invest in them. So maybe that's what you need to do. I know that's what we need to do. By the end of today, babe, we're going to have our family vacation on the calendar. Got it?
We'll see how that goes. Yeah.
Oh, Thomas. All right. What about this? Maybe you need to plan a 2-night getaway with your spouse. Make that deposit in that bank account.
No, we can do that. Let's get that on the calendar.
No. You love your kids.
I do.
You want to have a family vacation, don't you?
Yeah.
But you really love getaways with just your wife, right? Okay. Put a family day on the schedule. Maybe you need to get a family game night going weekly. So every Tuesday night, it's family game night. But whatever you decide to do, make your plan to make the change.
Well, and here's something to do as well, and we do this because we have certain things in place. We've got Friday as our family day, and we've got things like that in place already. But there are times in our life where, because of the season or the event or whatever's going on, where it's just crazy busy, and so we try to always make that up to them.
If we miss a family night.
So,
a family day.
Yeah, but not just that. It's like, okay, we've been spending a lot of time working because it's Easter season, and that's a busy time for ministry. So a lot of times after Easter, we will just spend a few days not doing anything but just family time because we've been so busy. So there are seasons like that where it's crazy and it's nuts for a while, and then when we kind of make that up to the kids. And do something special for them. But the more difficult thing for you will most likely be following your plan.
Yeah, making a plan is easier than following it, for sure.
And sticking to it. You know, and the bank illustration is great because it does help us to understand a little bit. You know, think about somebody who acquires financial debt. All right, it's very difficult to change spending habits.
Right.
And that's true of changing time spending habits as well. You know, if you've got a certain way that you like to spend your time, changing that up can be very difficult. But you've got to learn to stick to your plan. If it says family day on the calendar, Lysandra, it's family day. I
know, I'm the worst. I work at it. You help me.
So we're not doing paint quotes on family days.
Yeah, I did that. When did I do that recently? Recently, I was like, oh, it's just a quick quote. I just have to go in and bid this house real quick, and then...
So...
I know.
Call me out on the scheduling the family vacation, and here we go.
Okay, I see what this is. Nice.
Yeah.
Well done. Well played.
Thank you. But work cannot get in the way. If it's family vacation, then close the laptop and be on vacation with your family. Like, all the emails and all the stuff is still going to be there. If it's date night with your spouse, don't let other distractions get in the way of your spouse having your total attention. So you got to stick with the plan.
And there may be times when you know you're going to make a big withdrawal. Like, you see it coming, you know that you're going to be away from your family a lot. I think of like an accountant. An accountant sees the first of the year coming. They know tax season is coming. It's going to be withdraw. They are going to occur debt in tax season.
Yeah.
Somebody like an accountant. And so they know.
Like our friend Jeff. Yeah.
They see it coming. So if you see it coming, you need to build up the account before the expense comes. And then after, you may have to also make some extra deposits.
Yeah.
I can give you an illustration of that. So we have amazing, spectacular friends, and you'll understand why I say that in a minute. They're phenomenal.
Yeah.
And they just ranked even higher in our book than ever before.
They shot up the friend list for sure.
They are really genuine, beautiful people. And they have gifted us a 2-week free stay in, wait for it, Hawaii.
So the lodging part of it.
The lodging part has been totally paid for and gifted to us. It's an amazing gift. It's an amazing opportunity for us to be able to go to Hawaii, which is the last state that both Thomas and I need to hit.
Which we were supposed to do for my 40th birthday.
Yep. We had saved all the money for his 40th birthday. We were going to go to Hawaii, but then what happened, baby?
COVID That was 2020.
Yep. So we didn't get to go. And so now we have this opportunity to go. We're so excited. We have a 2-bedroom suite. And so due to flight costs and everything, we can't afford to take the whole family with us. But we're like, man, with this other room, let's bless another pastor and wife. So we've offered to another pastor and wife, you can have the other room. You know, obviously they're going to pay for their own flights and all that. So we had to pick a date that worked for both of our calendars because that makes it a little more difficult, right? Well, we are going to be gone for our youngest daughter's 14th birthday.
Her golden birthday.
Her golden birthday. Oh, goodness. I still feel bad about it. But we know that we're about to make a huge withdrawal from the family bank on this one.
We're planning her birthday literally now.
So what month are we in? June. We're planning an October birthday now.
4 months away, and we are planning it and talking about it already.
So what we're doing, though, is we are going to make some really big deposits in the family bank account before we go on this trip to Hawaii to make sure that she feels special and loved, because then we're going to make a big withdrawal. So we have plans. She already knows how. I love this. She said the other day, she said, I want to make sure we all get up really, really early. So I have the longest birthday day I can possibly have.
Yeah.
So the plan is to get up early and go to bed late and all day have birthday fun. And if any of you follow us on social media, you know birthdays are a really big deal in the Osterkamp house. So we're going to have a birthday where even though it's not October 14th, which is her birthday, we're going to pretend it's October 14th a little earlier and spend a full birthday day. She's also going to get her birthday party.
Yes.
And she's going to get her birthday date with Dad. So she's going to have a really special birthday. And we have plans for our BFF neighbor, Aunt Shelly, who is going to make her actual birthday spectacular. So this is what we have to do, though, because we know we're about to make a big withdrawal. So if you have something in your life that is coming, whether it's a work season or if it's a spectacular opportunity for your best favorite hobby and you want to do this thing, make sure that you prepare for that. You plan for that by making important family deposits so that you can make that big withdrawal.
It reminds me of an episode of King of Queens.
Oh, okay.
Where Doug wants to go do something. I don't even remember what it is now. But he wants to go do something, and so he's doing nice things for Carrie to get credit. Yes.
He wants to go to Vegas. I remember that episode.
Yeah, and so she is feeling very loving because of how nice he's being to her.
Yeah,
and
he takes her to the spa.
So she wants to have sex with him, and he's like, he's not gonna do it because he tells her he doesn't want to spend his credit that way.
He wants to spend his credit on a trip to Vegas rather.
Yeah, so I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we're talking about.
Yep, earn that credit, get that deposit in there,
but make sure that you spend your credit wisely.
Exactly.
The way you want it to be spent.
If you have a lot of time built up in the family bank and you have the opportunity to go on a cruise with your girlfriends, go. And obviously we're not talking about husbands here.
Your girlfriends. Yeah, no. That was more of a statement meant for a wife.
Yeah. If you've been depositing time in the family bank consistently for months and you want to go on that hunting trip, go. Have a great time. There should be no guilt felt because you know your family has been well taken care of and you know they're going to be well taken care of when you get back. They are feeling loved and valued, so they're most likely very happy for you to go get to do something that's special just for you. Now, if all you're doing is withdrawing, and then you're, hey, I want to go to Vegas on this amazing trip, it's probably not going to go over as well.
Right. It's just not smart.
Yeah.
And you can kind of take the temperature in your family. You can see, how's everybody feeling? What does it seem like? There are times, I think, when we have an inaccurate perception of ourselves, where we think, oh, I'm giving so much time to my family. My bank account is full. And it's not in their opinion. So you've really got to be in constant communication with your family to talk about it.
Yeah.
Looking at that balance statement. Is it really that you have this great big account built up, or is it really that you're overdrawn and you're in debt? Talk to the family to find out how they're feeling about it.
Well, and I think just making sure that those deposits that you're making, that they count. Right? So there are certain things that I may do, and you've already talked about, like, if you're going to work to make money for the family, you feel like you're making these deposits, that's not really counting. It would be like trying to go somewhere here in America and spend pesos.
Yeah.
Right? We don't deal with that in most places in the United States. You've got to have dollars. And so you got to think about how you're going to do that. What's the important thing to your kids? There's certain things where you're going to have fun with your kids. Like just the other day, we went, it was family day. We went to the pool, and Violet loves going to the pool, and she's still young enough where she wants to like wrestle and have a good time and play
pool games and all this stuff.
So, I did it,
As old as you are and tired as you are.
Yeah.
You threw her into the pool.
Yep.
Chased her around.
She tried to drown me and choke me and scratch my face.
She did give you a good scratch. This was so funny. She was really proud of herself because what she did was she jumped on his back in the pool, put her arm under his chin, like in a chokehold, and then took her other hand and splashed water into his mouth and nose to like try to drown him and weaken him so that she could get him. She was so proud of herself for thinking of this like horrific torture that she and yeah, it was so funny though. I was laughing.
But that's a way that speaks volumes to my youngest daughter. If I try to do that same thing with my second born daughter, she's not down with that. In fact, she was laying on the float thing, just like chilling in the sun, soaking it in, and she got flipped off of it, and then she was just done. She's like, I'm out. I'm done.
From then on, she was just laying in the sun next to the pool.
Yep, listen to music. So
not as quality time for her.
For my oldest daughter, she likes just being together. So just driving down the road, listening to music, that is depositing, into that relationship for her. Taking a little walk on the beach or whatever. So it's literally making sure that what you're doing has the most impact and that they really feel that love from you with that time spent.
That's right. And the only way to really fully know if you are spending quality time to them is to talk about it. You've got to have those lines of communication open and be talking about what would you like to do? What would be fun? How do we want to spend our evening? And then doing those quality things. If you're only ever withdrawing funds, you're going to wind up in severe debt before you know it. You can never get that time back. I think about that Cats in the Cradle song.
Yeah.
Man, that one gets me. Every time I hear it, I just want to cry. It's that song about the dad who doesn't ever have time for his son because he's working all the time. He gets
Cats
old.
in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when. We'll get together then, Dad. We'll have a good time then.
You almost got it right.
Yeah.
It was good. That was beautiful. You have a very handsome voice.
Said no one ever.
I just said it and I meant it. But yeah, all of a sudden then the dad grows up or the kid grows up and the dad gets older.
And he wants to spend time with his son now.
Yeah. His son doesn't have enough time for him because he's modeling the same thing that his dad did.
And he said, my boy, just like me.
Yeah. Gives you chills. It's a very good song. But anyway, you think about that. You can't get those times back. Now, you can make changes for the future. It's not too late. It's not too late to change. It's not too late to start to change the ending, even though you can't go back to the beginning. So what are the changes you need to make now? What do you need to do to change the balance in your bank account?
So family meeting tonight, you're just going to sit down and have that conversation with your family. And it starts by just being open and honest. And let's talk about, hey, do you feel like I'm present enough? Do you feel like I'm here enough? Do I invest enough time in my relationship with you? And specifically having that conversation with each member of the family and just having to talk about that. How do we feel about mom being present, dad being present? How do we feel about our kids and our brothers and sisters and all those things? Don't get defensive. If somebody feels like you spend too much time on a hobby, you may literally not spend that much time. But their perception is you're spending your time and your energy that way. Hey, don't get defensive. Just own it. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you feel like I've been spending too much time fishing or playing video games or golfing or knitting or cross stitch or whatever.
Way to pull out knitting and cross stitch, man.
Thanks.
Didn't know you knew those words.
And just apologizing, just like we said before. The first step is just apologizing. And then, all right, let's make a plan together. How do we want to spend our time? What day works best for us to have a family day? And maybe it doesn't work out for you to have the same day every week like it does for us most of the time. Maybe it's just, hey, we're going to have a family day every week. All right, what day's good for this week? What day's good for next week? And we're just kind of planning that out. Talking about a family vacation. Maybe you can't take a whole week. Maybe you've got 3 days you could spend. And so just beginning to develop that plan and then sticking with it. And one of the best things that you can do is give your family permission to help you stick to the plan. Mm-hmm. Like if I start working too much or if I open up and start doing email on family vacation, I want you to say something to me. Mm-hmm. If we're having a conversation, we're having our family meeting and I keep picking up my phone, I want you to say something to me. Because you are worth my time, you're worth my energy, you're worth my focus. I want to give it to you because I love you and I want to spend that time with you. Because sticking to the plan is the hardest part. And we've been doing this for a long time, and you know what? It's still hard to stick to the plan.
Right.
Feels like there's always something that's coming up that we say, well, I'll just have my phone for just a couple of minutes. I'll just answer this text or this email or whatever. Can it wait until the conversation's over? It can. Mm-hmm. Right? And so it's still tough to stick to the plan. So having that conversation there, begin to develop the plan, and then have your family help you and hold you accountable to sticking to that plan.
Thanks for joining us today. Please go and subscribe to the Family Meeting Podcast from your favorite podcast provider. And if you found this information helpful, please share this episode on social media and invite your friends and family to listen in with you.
To find more content and information Lysandra and I provide, you can go to our website, familymeeting.org, or email us at info@familymeeting.org. If you'd like to shoot us a text or call us, you can send a voice message at 904-257-3062.
And we want to invite you to join us for our next family meeting as we discuss jealousy and envy that social media can create. This is a real issue in our culture. I think sometimes it's more than what we realize. It can get as bad as people wanting to even end their life and everything because they see what other people have or what their life looks like. And when they compare their own, they're so unsatisfied that they just want to end it. So it can be really, really severe. I think for most people, it's tempting to compare our marriage relationship to other married people's highlight reel. And that's not an accurate description of what reality is for them. So we got to kind of understand that and think about that and think about being content and being happy with what you have and focusing on that and understanding what true reality is. So we're going to talk about that next week.
Thanks for joining us today for this family meeting. Have a great week, everybody. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you for joining us on YouTube today. I hope you enjoyed the show. And we'd love to hear the ways that you spend quality time with your family. Like, what are your things? What are the things that your family likes, whether it's activities or chilling or movies or whatever it is? Let us know how you spend the most quality time with your family. We want to hear from you.
Weekends away at the beach.
Yeah. That's your favorite.
Yeah.
I also want to remind you one last time before we sign out that Father's Day is fast approaching. Be ready to treat that dad in your life.
We've got a few days left. So get those gifts, get the meal plans ready, and we're ready for a great day.
Thanks for joining us today. Have a great week, you guys.